Let's get to your pro tip, and you're calling this week a great teaser week because of the kind of Wong equation. Can you go ahead and explain that, Somich?
Yeah, for sure. So I'm actually not a huge teaser fan. I start playing teasers late in the year. I think teasers early in the year, you get kind of trapped by variance and by the totals of games. So if you look at the board and where we are sitting with a lot of these numbers and a lot of these totals, we're in a position where I think teasers become a really, really good play. Now, the traditional Wong teaser, you hear people talk about it all the time. Essentially, it's taking a favorite from either 7.5 and 8.5 and moving them all the way down to a 1.5 or 2.5 point favorite. And you're trying to get the key numbers of 3, 4, 6, and 7. You can do that with an underdog as well, moving them from 1.5 to 2.5 and move them up to 7.5 or plus 8.5. And again, you're getting those key numbers of 3, 4, 6, and 7. Well, I like teasers this time of the year because all of a sudden those points are much more valuable. If you think back to the start of the year, first off, we're all guessing a little bit on what we think these teams actually will be. We didn't have enough information week 1 through 4 to really say, okay, this is definitely who this team is. And you saw those totals at 54 and 48. Well, if you're getting 6 points and the total's 48, that means you're getting 1/8 of the total in points. If you look at tonight's game, you're getting 6 points on a 36, 37 number. You're getting a sixth of the total points as your value in the teaser now. So each week where you see these totals creep lower, those points are now becoming more and more valuable, especially if you can tease up. So if you can find a plus 2.5 and tease to plus 8.5, those 6 points you're getting are significantly more valuable than they were earlier in the season. And you're able to have more information about the teams that you're playing. This week specifically, I think there are 5 or 6 different legs that fall into that Wong teaser zone where you can either get a favorite down to sub 3 points or sub 2.5 points or a dog up to plus 8.5. So this is a great teaser week kicking off with tonight. I think tonight's game is a very, very good teaser leg. You're able to go from plus 2.5 to plus 8.5 tonight with Jacksonville. You got another great leg that is coming up here on Saturday. You've got Buffalo, who's -8 or 8.5, depending on where you're playing. You can get them -1 or 1.5. So I've already put that specific teaser in, but there's a lot of games on the board that you can follow those Wong teaser legs and find some value this week with these wildly low totals.
Yeah, and I think, too, this week more than ever because points are going to be such a premium. I mean, are you getting more points than typical? I mean, you almost have to take it. I don't disagree with you. I think that's true. And weather is, I think these field goals, I mean, I said earlier in the show, Mike, I see fourth down in play with a lot of teams. I see, punting is going to be really challenging. I think the points is going to be at a premium.
100% agree. And I think that's why especially this week, if you're looking at value teasers, take the points up, right? So look for teams that are between 1.5 and 2.5 point underdogs and take them to plus 7.5 or plus 8.5. I don't think you see a bunch of double-digit games this week. I'm willing to take shots with those close underdogs in these teaser legs because I think there's a ton of value in that spot this week.
Yeah, just to simplify, if you're teasing up or down, you should be going through 3, through 6, through 7, either way. If you're trying to dance within those numbers, through 3, through 6, through 7, that's always super important. Thursday Night Football to kick off Week 16. Right now, you're seeing 2.5 with the Jets laying it. Where are you sitting on this one, Somich?
I'm gonna go head-to-head with Michael here. Give me Jacksonville, and this is something where I've realized do not line up with the market on the gap that there is between Matt White and Zach Wilson. I have Zach Wilson as 3 to 3.5 points worse quarterback than Matt White at this point. I think most of the people have them around equal, and if you assume they're equal, you end up with this line. But when it's 3 or 3.5 point delta, I think Jacksonville should be a slight favorite in this spot. I don't trust Zach Wilson at all. He makes 1 to 2 big-time mistakes in every single game. Michael, you were mentioning it before the break. This is a huge spot for him. I expect him to press. He loves to press anyway. And if he starts pushing and making mistakes against this Jacksonville defense, I think this Jets team is in trouble. Jacksonville has the ability to move the football, specifically down the middle of the field. The Jets are very good on the outside, but they can be had up the middle of the field. I think Jacksonville's going to have some success through the air down the middle of the field. And I think Zach Wilson's going to make a couple mistakes. And if that's the case, give me Jacksonville here, plus the 2.5, plus 2, depending on where you're shopping. I was surprised the Jets closed a favorite last week against Detroit. I think it was a similar situation. I don't think Matt White and Zach Wilson are equal comps. I think Matt White being out is massive in this spot.
I was actually surprised. I was on Jacksonville. I was on Detroit last week too, but I was surprised that they let Zach Wilson participate as much as they did last week in the game. And I think they had to because they have no running game. My handicap is I'm not sold on this Jacksonville defense. I mean, look, I know Jacksonville can move the ball, and I think if they protect, the left tackle being out worries me a little bit too because of the Jets can rush the passer. But to me, I get you. I get you completely. Putting faith in Zach Wilson is not something I believe in, but I was hoping they would just not allow him to participate as much. But if they don't run the ball, they're going to have to.
And that's going to be the key to the game here. Can the Jets move the football on the ground? And is the weather going to affect the Jacksonville passing game? And if the answer is the Jets can move it on the ground and the weather affects Jacksonville's passing game, Jacksonville's in trouble in this spot. But if I'm the Jacksonville defense, I'm putting 9 in the box, saying, come at me. Let's see what you can do. Let's see if you can actually beat me here and move the football through the air, down the field. The injury report has trended toward the Jets, so I'm not surprised the numbers moved out a little bit. But I have no interest in betting Zach Wilson in a primetime game.
Well, my assumption is we're not going to see 35 pass attempts from Wilson like we did against the Lions last week because of the weather. But I agree with you. Okay, you do like Cincy laying 3 at New England.
This is just the same handicap as last week, really. We talked about Cincy laying 3.5 against the Bucks. I thought that number should be closer to 6. I'm not really sure why this number is just 3 here. I mean, there's the weather issue. We're going up north versus being down south, but Cincinnati's significantly better than New England. And even if we didn't have that crazy throwback pitchy woo-woo play that ended the game, I still think that if the Patriots win that game, this shouldn't be anywhere near this 3 or 3.5 number that you're seeing out on the market right now. Cincinnati can put points on the board. The Patriots offense is just a mess. It's confusing. It has been all year. The play structure hasn't been what we've been looking for. Mac Jones has regressed this year as a quarterback. I have no interest in playing the Patriots offense here against a Bengals team that can score points. And that was the exact same style of the cap last week where we knew the Bengals were going to be able to put up points against Tampa. They're going to put up points against the Patriots. I don't see the Patriots scoring with them here. So I'm going to lay the points here with the Bengals.
I had this as a 5.26 game. I don't understand it. I mean, I said this earlier, everybody's disrespecting the Bengals. I don't understand. They're playing the best football of anybody.
It's wild. They got so much love at the start of the year when they weren't playing that well, and now they're playing phenomenal, and they're getting trashed in the betting markets. I'm more than happy to keep laying it with this Bengals team until they prove me wrong. They want to get this game. They want to have that Baltimore game, Week 18, mean the division here. I think they keep trucking forward here, and I have no interest in backing the Patriots.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.